Coco Gauff at Australian Open 2026. American youngster's possible path to maiden title. Coco Gauff at Australian Open 2026. Check out the American's possible path to a maiden title, AO's seeded players, live streaming info, and everything you need to know about the Grand Slam. Coco Gauff at Australian Open 2026. American youngster's possible path to maiden title. Gauff, a two-time Grand Slam champion, is seeded third with potential matchups against Muchova, Navarro, Svitolina, Andreeva, and a likely semifinal against Sabalenka. Australian Open 2026 runs January 18th to February 1st in Melbourne. In India, live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live. Coco Gauff's potential meeting with fellow American and tennis legend Venus Williams in the second round of the Australian Open 2026 is one of the key talking points ahead of the season-opening Grand Slam. The main draw for the 114th edition was revealed on Thursday, January 15th. Gauff is one of the 11 Grand Slam champions, including 4 previous winners here, in the women's singles main draw. The 21-year-old from Florida enters the Melbourne Major as the third seed, while Williams, now 45, is a wild card. A 4-time winner, Williams will be the oldest woman to compete in the Australian Open singles main draw when she takes on Olga Danilovic of Serbia. Both Americans are in the same half of the draw as top-ranked Aryna Sabalenka, who faces French wildcard Tyansoa Rakitomanga Rajanahin in her opener. Here's a look at Coco Gauff's potential path to the final. First round, Kamila Rakimova. Second round, Venus Williams/Olga Danilovic. Third round, Marketa Vondrousova/Jessica Buzas-Monero. Fourth round, Karolina Muchova/Emma Navarro/Alexandra Ila. Quarterfinal, Alina Svitolina/Mira Andreeva/Diana Schneider/Diana Yastremska/Maria Sakkari. Semifinal, Aryna Sabalenka/Jasmine Paolini/Clara Tauson/Emma Raducanu/Victoria Mboko/Marta Kostyuk/Ekaterina Alexandrova. Final, Iga Swiatek/Elena Rybakina/Naomi Osaka/Belinda Bencic/Amanda Anisimova/Jessica Pegula/Madison Keys. This will mark a 7th Australian Open appearance for Coco Gauff. Her best run at the tournament was reaching the semifinal in 2024, where she lost to the eventual champion, Aryna Sabalenka. Last year, she was beaten by Spain's Paula Badosa in the quarterfinals. As a 2-time Grand Slam winner, US Open in 2023, French Open in 2025, Gauff enters the tournament as one of the pre-tournament favorites. Women's singles seeded players. 1. Aryna Sabalenka, Belarus. 2. Iga Swiatek, Poland. 3. Coco Gauff, USA. 4. Amanda Anisimova, USA. 5. Elena Rybakina, Kazakhstan. 6. Jessica Pegula, USA. 7. Jasmine Paolini, Italy. 8. Mira Andreeva, Russia. 9. Madison Keys, USA. 10. Belinda Bencic, Switzerland. 11. Ekaterina Alexandrova, Russia. 12. Alina Svitolina, Ukraine. 13. Linda Noskova, Czechia. 14. Clara Tauson, Denmark. 15. Emma Navarro, USA. 16. Naomi Osaka, Japan. 17. Victoria Mboko, Canada. 18. Ludmila Samsonova, Russia. 19. Karolina Muchova, Czechia. 20. Marta Kostyuk, Ukraine. 21. Elise Mertens, Belgium. 22. Leylah Fernandez, Canada. 23. Diana Schneider, Russia. 24. Yelena Ostapenko, Latvia. 25. Paula Badosa, Spain. 26. Diana Yastremska, Ukraine. 27. Sofia Kenin, USA. 28. Emma Raducanu, UK. 29. Iva Jovic, USA. 30. Maya Joint, Australia. 31. Anna Kalinskaya, Russia. 32. Marketa Vondrousova, Czechia. Australian Open 2026, telecast and live streaming info. In India and the subcontinent, The Australian Open 2026 will be telecast live on Sony Sports Network, and live streaming will be available on the Sony Live app and website. For other countries and regions, check details here. Australia Open 2026 Singles Schedule. First round, January 18th, 19 and 20. Second round, January 21st and 22nd. Third round, January 23rd and 24th. Fourth round, January 25th and 26th. Quarterfinals, January 27th and 28th. Semifinals, January 29th, women. Semifinals, January 30th, men. Final, January 31st, women. Final, February 1st, men. Australian Open in brief. The Australian Open is one of the 4 Grand Slam tournaments, and is held each year around the last 2 weeks of January, during the summer break down under. It's played outdoors on hard courts at Melbourne Park, located along the Yarra River. The venue has retractable roofs at Rod Laver Arena, Margaret Court Arena and John Cain Arena. Also known as the Grand Slam of the Asia-Pacific, it was founded in 1905. The women's singles winner is presented with the Daphne Akhurst Memorial Cup, while the men's singles winners get to lift the Norman Brooks Challenge Cup. Australian Open prize money. Australian Open prize money has increased by 16% from last year, $96.5 million Australian dollars in 2025, to a record total of $111.5 million Australian dollars, $75 million US dollars. The women's and men's singles champions will earn $4.15 million Australian dollars, $2.8 million US dollars, a 19% increase from last year. Coco Gauff at Australian Open 2026. American youngsters' possible path to maiden title. The dawn of a new season, expectations in Melbourne. The summer sun settles over Melbourne Park and the tennis world holds its breath. The first Grand Slam of the year has arrived. Among the electric buzz and late-night practice courts, one name resonates with fans and commentators alike: Coco Gauff. At just 21 years old, Gauff has already established herself among the elite, with 2 major singles titles to her name and a top 4 ranking that places her firmly in the conversation for a first Australian Open crown. As the tournament unfolds, every opponent, every rally, every heartbeat brings her closer to an historic breakthrough or another heartbreaking near miss. But this year, in Melbourne, there is a sense, perhaps a belief, that this could be her moment. Setting the stage, seeds, storylines, and stakes. For 2026, Gauff enters the draw as one of the top seeds, positioned just behind the sport's biggest powerhouses. World number 1 Aryna Sabalenka and fellow elites like Iga Swiatek loom large in the field, but Gauff's blend of athleticism, mental fire, and relentless improvement sets her apart as a genuine title contender. Her recent form has been rich with tough, championship-level tennis. From beating Swiatek in the United Cup to her dominant season in 2025 that saw her lift the Roland Garros trophy and secure significant WTA 1000 titles. Yet, beyond numbers and rankings, it's her story this season, the pursuit of consistency, confidence with her serve, and a hunger for her first Australian Open title, that gives weight to every match she plays in Melbourne. Round by round. A possible path to glory. Below is an imagined yet plausible path to the final, blending realistic matchups with narrative tension. First week. Finding rhythm. Gauff begins her Australian Open campaign with confidence. In the opening rounds, she sets the tone with clean, commanding tennis, precise returns, attacking forehands, and the kind of steady footwork that frustrates opponents. There's a feeling of momentum right from her opening match, as she weaves through her early opponent with a mix of aggression and tactical patience. Her variety, slices, drop shots, angles, feels sharper than ever, a reminder that Gauff is more than just power. As the draw unfolds, she handles her second-round opponent with composed grit, conserving energy and focusing not just on winning, but how she wins, a subtle psychological edge that pays dividends later.